That head tilt isn't cuteness, it's active problem solving happening in real time. Dogs hear the world differently than we do. Their hearing range stretches to 65,000 hertz, roughly 4 times the upper limit of a healthy adult human ear. A dog's outer ear is controlled by 18 separate muscles. A human ear has 3, and most people can't move them at all. That asymmetry matters enormously. Those 18 muscles let dogs swivel each ear independently toward a sound source, a reflex called pinna orientation, where the pinna is simply the outer ear flap. 2 satellite dishes, each scanning on its own. Sound localization works by measuring the tiny delay between when a sound reaches one ear versus the other. That delay, sometimes under a microsecond, tells the brain exactly where the source is. Here's where the dog's anatomy creates a genuine problem. A long muscle sits directly in the acoustic path between a speaker's mouth and one of the dog's ears. Researcher Stanley Coren published a 2013 survey showing that dogs with longer muzzles tilt their heads far more frequently than flat-faced breeds like pugs, whose muzzles don't obstruct the acoustic field. A pug's flat face leaves almost no muzzle to block incoming sound. A border collie's long snout creates a real acoustic shadow. The tilt is the collie's solution to a problem the pug never has. When a dog tilts its head, it physically rotates the ear canal, changing the angle at which sound arrives. That rotation can shift the acoustic shadow away from the far ear by several degrees. The brainstem receives both ear signals simultaneously and compares them. A cleaner, unobstructed signal from the second ear gives the brain far better data to work with. The tilt is the hardware fix. But the muzzle theory only explains part of the behavior. Researchers began noticing something else. Dogs tilt most when they hear specific words, not random sounds, not music, not white noise. A 2014 study by Attila Andix at Budapest's Eötvös Loránd University used fMRI imaging on awake-trained dogs and found that the canine brain processes both the meaning and the emotional tone of words. Andix found the left hemisphere processed word meaning while the right processed emotional tone, the same hemispheric split humans use. Dogs weren't just hearing noise, they were parsing language. The tilt appears most reliably the moment a dog detects a known word embedded in unfamiliar speech, as if the brain flags something meaningful is in there, and I need a cleaner signal to confirm it. Here's where it gets harder. Behaviorist Alexandra Horowitz at Barnard College's Dog Cognition Lab has argued the tilt isn't purely acoustic. It may also be a learned social display, a behavior dogs perform because humans reward it, consciously or not. Operant conditioning is straightforward. A behavior that produces a reward becomes more frequent. If every head tilt earns a delighted human reaction, the dog learns to produce that behavior on cue. A 2021 study by Julianne Kaminski at the University of Portsmouth found that dogs with high daily human contact tilted significantly more often than dogs housed in low-contact kennel environments, evidence that the social reinforcement pathway runs alongside the acoustic one. The honest answer is that the tilt has at least 2 drivers working simultaneously: the acoustic geometry of the muzzle and the social feedback loop built over thousands of years of living beside humans. That social feedback loop is ancient. Genetic evidence published in 2021 in PNAS places dog domestication between 15,000 and 40,000 years ago, long enough for communication behaviors to become deeply embedded. Miho Nagasawa's 2015 research in Science showed that mutual gaze between dogs and their owners triggers an oxytocin surge in both species, the same bonding hormone activated between human parents and infants. The head tilt is one of a whole suite of attention signals dogs have refined for human interaction. Soft eyes, ear orientation, stillness, none of which they deploy with other dogs in the same way. Consider Chaser, the border collie studied by psychologist John Pilley at Wofford College. By 2011, Chaser had reliably learned the names of 1,022 individual objects, the largest confirmed vocabulary ever documented in a non-human animal. Pilley's data showed Chaser didn't plateau. She kept acquiring new words at a consistent rate across years of testing, suggesting dogs may have a vocabulary ceiling we've never actually found. Which raises a question most people never think to ask. Do dogs that tilt more frequently also tend to know more words? Andix's 2022 Budapest lab study of gifted word learner dogs found exactly that correlation. Higher tilt frequency tracked with larger confirmed vocabularies across their sample. That same study identified a rare subset called gifted word learner dogs, fewer than 1 in 100, who spontaneously acquire large vocabularies and show markedly elevated head tilt frequency. That finding reframes the tilt entirely. It's not just acoustic adjustment or social performance. In some dogs, it may be a visible marker of deeper cognitive engagement with human language, attention made visible. Dogs read human faces and follow pointing gestures in ways wolves raised by humans simply don't. Brian Hare and colleagues demonstrated this in a 2002 paper in Science, showing domestication reshaped canine cognition specifically toward human communication cues. Gregor Larsson's ancient DNA research, published in Science in 2016, supports the hypothesis that early domestication filtered strongly for human attentive traits, meaning each generation that survived likely amplified the behaviors that made communication easier, including, in all probability, the tilt. Here's the practical edge of all this science. If your dog tilts when you use a specific word, that tilt is confirmation of recognition. The brain has flagged that word as meaningful. It's a training signal hiding in plain sight. The deeper implication reaches beyond dogs. Before Andix's fMRI work in 2016, the dominant view held that word meaning processing was uniquely human. His data forced a direct revision of that position. The boundary between human language and animal communication is measurably closer than the field assumed. You can test this yourself right now. Pick 3 words your dog knows: walk, treat, outside, and say each one once, at normal volume, buried in the middle of an ordinary sentence. Watch which ones trigger the tilt. That list is your dog's confirmed vocabulary, readable in real time. When you see that tilt, say the word again clearly, then follow through. Walk, treat, whatever you named. You're reinforcing the word's meaning in real time. That's exactly how Pilley built Chaser's vocabulary of over 1,000 words, one confirmed signal at a time.